3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I'm TVR Zorro. And this is David from Blind
Yes.
Euphoria.
Yes.
I
Thank
almost
you
said
for that.
Daniel for a second.
Believe me, you wouldn't be the first one.
Today is the first time we've done a TVR podcast in months.
Yes, months.
Yeah, especially Blind. I think the last one I published was the beginning of April, and that didn't
That
go.
was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. And a lot of stuff has come out since then.
Yes.
A lot. Like, whew, all the EPs and yeah, the Xylus
Yeah.
album. Jesus. I figured since today, or I guess like last week, was Monstercat's 8-year anniversary. Which congrats to them, by the way, for surviving 8 years.
Yes.
We figured we might do a little special episode of TVR podcast, where we talk about the 8-year anniversary adventure, and we give our take on it like usual, and then probably talk about like our history with Monstercat. I think we could do that. Oh, and by the way, Adam's not here, obviously, if you couldn't tell. He's doing something else right now. What exactly? I'm not sure, but he's doing something else right now. So, might as well shout him out since he's part of the crew.
Yes, big shout out to my boy Adam.
Yeah.
'Cause
So, let's start by talking about the first track, which is Let's Roll by Affixa and Going Quantum. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
you can start.
Okay. I first listened to this. It took me a little while to get used to the sound of the song because it's very much in the like it feels like it belongs in like the 2012, 2013 era of Monstercat. And I liked that a lot. But at the same time it was off-putting because it's just not what I'm used to hearing in 2019. So I don't know. It took me a while to get used to that aspect of the song, but overall, I think it's all right. Um, I think it's a good start to the compilation. Something from years old, days past. Um, voice crack. It's. I think it's interesting what Affixa and Going Quantum did. I think it's interesting that they went for more of a older sort of 2012 vibe, because that's definitely the vibe I got from the production. There's not really a lot I can say about it. It's just that's really the whole thing about it. It's just the old sort of 2012 Monstercat vibe. Um, the intro reminded me a lot of No Turning Back, the Protostar song from like 2016. Every time I heard the intro, I couldn't help but think of that song, and I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, there's nothing much to say about this one, at least in my opinion. It's all right. I give it like a 5.5 out of 10 overall rating. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
First off, Going Quantum coming after a couple years. I think his last release was Rare, right?
Mhm.
Um, so let me just start off. This track is definitely built on nostalgia.
Definitely.
only reason I can see why people like it. Otherwise, it's just a simple D&B track, not much to it. Um, I mean, uh, listening to it the first time, I definitely got memories of very old Monstercat, like 20 Monstercat.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was nice. That was kind of nice to like dive into like sound. And
Yeah.
I do agree with you. That was a very good way to this anniversary album. It's kind of going back into their history. So that was overall the track it's nice. I definitely can tell the contributions from both artists, which I like both of them. So I give this track a 6 out of 10.
All right. Cool. 6 out of 10. So we're both sort of on the same plane level of field with the track. It seems.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So the second song of the compilation is another collaboration with Afixa, but this time it's with Stephen Walking, a song called Problems. And this came out on Instinct as the second song of the compilation. And I guess I'll start. I like this significantly more than the previous one. Significantly. I think the style's really neat. A lot of it reminded me of old Stephen Walking. Like that little bit after the first drop. Um, that reminded me of like Walkers and Move, both songs that are from like 2012. Um, but yeah, I think it's a nice blend of old and new to me. The newer bits definitely come in the drops and you know the the mid sections for me. I think vocally it's really nice. It's fun to sing along to if you really like singing. Um, but yeah, overall, it's really nice. I think it's gonna stick with me for a little while, and I think overall I give it a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. That's my that's all I really have to say about it.
I think it brings out the best of both artists' walkings. Groovy beats as usual, Fixa's Affixa's lovely melodies. Um, and the vocals, they just go so well with and I personally really love the drops. In love with the drops. The mid sections are great too, especially Stephen Walking's little part after the first drop, like you said. It
Hmm.
did give me a lot of uh Walker's vibes. And I definitely like that song too. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about the song other than that it's super groovy, super catchy, and it is one of my personal favorites out of the album.
Um, all right. So that leaves us to the third song of the compilation, which is oh boy, it's Infected Mushroom. My favorite,
Infected mushroom.
my favorite Infected Mushroom Kababies or Kababies. I think it's Kababies. I can't tell. I can give them this. Their song titles are creative. Most of them, at
Yes.
least. I'll start this one off again. So Kababies. I'm just gonna call it Kababies. Kababies is honestly, I don't really think it's anything too special from like an ordinary infected mushroom song, but in comparison to the rest of this compilation, um, it is definitely unique for the compilation. Again, I must restate, um, and like it's definitely a good fit, especially for an anniversary compilation. Um, I feel. And for what it is, I think they did all right. Uh, it's probably one of my favorites from them. It's saying a lot that I feel Kababies is one of my favorites from Infected Mushroom, because it's like I don't like Infected Mushroom that much. I feel like their style of psytrance or whatever is kind of bland, at least to me. I feel it unnecessary for songs like that to go stretch for 7.5 fucking minutes, and it irritates me whenever I see that, and I'm just hearing the same sort of drum beat. But at the very least, this one was like 5.5 minutes, so I could kind of excuse it on that end of the bargain. Um, but yeah, I felt like for a 5.5 minutes psytrance solo release single from Infected Mushroom, I thought this was fine. Um, Nothing really bad about it, nothing really great. It's just fine. So I give it like a 5 out of 10. A solid 5 out of 10.
So, Kababies.
God damn it.
Some
Kababies.
nice stuff from Infected Mushroom. Now, let me just start off by saying, not the hugest fan of Infected Mushroom myself. I probably like two of their Monstercat releases, which
Yeah,
are,
same here.
I think, Bliss on Mushrooms, Lost in Space. Those are the only two that I like. Because I found, well, Bliss on Mushrooms is like the only really psytrance song of theirs that I really like. I don't know, there's just something about it that just kind of seems to stand out from all their other stuff, even though it's like
Mm.
almost 9 minutes. But
Yeah.
and then Lost in Space is obviously different, kind of a callback to their older discography, which I actually checked out, and they did do a lot of experimental stuff,
Oh, where'd that
with
go?
Hebrew rappers and all that stuff. So I thought that was very interesting that they call back to that. Uh, was it their album? It was like the head of NASA and two Amish boys, something like
Yeah.
that.
No, you're right.
But anyways, Kababies. This song, it was, just another psytrance release. I didn't really feel anything special with it. It was kind of different to what they've done in the past a little bit, not by a lot. Um, Obviously they shortened the time, so I'm kind of grateful for that. I have to listen for like 9, 10 minutes, but in the end, it is just another psytrance song. Wasn't too intrigued by it, so nothing really to say. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10.
I guess that means we'll move on to the fourth track. Um, by oh gosh, this is the three-way. Um, World, Keepsake, and Laszlo, with a song called "Back to You." Um, Personally, this is probably one of my favorites. I use the term lightly. One of my favorites that Laszlo has made in recent memory. Um, if For those of you who don't really remember, I wasn't too huge of a fan of the Liftoff EP or LP. Um, I wasn't really fond of what Laszlo decided to do with his sound after, like 2 years after he released Airglow. Um, I wasn't too fond of that, but songs like Gravity and the the other one I can't think of. I don't remember the name of. Not You'll Be Fine, but the one after that. I don't remember the name. But yeah, those two songs I enjoyed from the LP. The rest are kind of like meh. But anyways, point being, this new one with this new one with World and Keepsake. I have the urge to call him Richard Caddick.
Yes, it's not Richard Caddock, it's Keepsake.
Right, Keepsake. Um, but yeah, this new one with the three of them, I find it pretty alright. I like it. I can't say that I love it. I think my, I think the biggest flaw with this one is that I feel the instrumental is a little too weak, which is odd coming from someone like World and Laszlo. because usually their instrumentals are somewhat strong. So I feel like this was a keepsake decision to keep the instrumental kind of simple and mellow, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But I feel like the instrumental could have been a little better, a little more memorable, aside from the drop or like the chorus or whatever. I think that part's just fine. Other than that, I really don't have a problem with this. I like the vocals and the lyrics. I think everyone's contributions definitely shine in specific areas of the songs, and I like that a lot. So overall, I give it like a 6. I think that's where I'm at, like a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. I think I'm still with a 6.
The issue with this feels too tame.
Yeah,
Feels like they played it really safe. I don't like because I know World has the ability to be a great song, and so does Laszlo. Now that I see, like, I kind of agree with you that it would be Keepsake's decision to the safe pop sound song because that's kind of the stuff with.
right.
So, kind of really let down by the fact as to what they could have potential. Um, I mean, obviously, glad to see World and Laszlo collabing. That's pretty great, but um, it's just really weird because I could only like see like a couple touches from, but most of the instrumental felt very World to
Yeah.
me at least. So that was just something that I know.
Okay.
Keepsakes, they're fine. Drop is fine. I don't even know really to call it a drop. It's more pop songs. So I might as well just call it a chorus. It's kind of like that release they had with the 5-year anniversary. There's like
Oh,
5
Break the
artists.
Silence.
Break the Silence, yeah. And that had Keepsake on it too, who was in fact Richard Caddock.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is this Richard Caddick you speak of?
Yeah, who's this Richard
It's Keepsake,
But
goddammit.
it's Keepsake. But that one felt really safe too, which was really unfortunate because they had all those great artists on.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like none of their styles really would have really worked with his vocals. So I feel like that's because of him, almost in a sense, they kind of this safe song. And I don't want to like put blame on him. He's a good, he's a good singer, but maybe if he like, I don't know what word it is. Just I wish they did something a little more.
Unique.
Yeah, this just sounds like a regular pop song, honestly. So
Yeah,
not,
I can see where you're coming from.
I'm not too huge on it. So I'm gonna give this one 5 out of 10.
Wait, a what out of 10?
5.
Oh, 5. I heard 10. I heard I'm gonna give this 10. And I was like, wait, what?
10. It's not perfect. It's not like album 1 quality.
Album 1.
Nothing will ever be album 1 quality to me unless it's from album 1.
Right. Ah, that's great. Alright, so the next song, which begins our second week here, is AU5 and Amity with a song called Way Back featuring Karra.
Way down.
Way Down. Sorry, Way Down. I'm an idiot.
It's
Way
okay.
Down
We're all
featuring
idiots.
Karra. Way Back to You. No. Way Down. um, Personally, I think I'm debating between this and the MOSHI or MOSHI as my favorite song of the entire compilation. Um, This song right here, it blends everything that I love about AU5, the atmosphere, the orchestral segments, especially the intro, the drops themselves. The first one being melodic, melodic dubstep, and then the second one just being dubstep. um, I thought that was really cool. There's there's just everything I love about AU5 into one song. The vocals by Karra are really good for the most part. I think toward the buildup of the second drop when she went to those low notes, I thought that was really weird because she was like down, 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 and it was weird. But other than that, her performance was pretty great. Um, and I can't really say too much for Amity because I there's not really a lot I can go off of, I guess, with him. But whatever contributions he put in there, I'm gonna say the second drop was part of it. I really liked it. I think his contributions were made for the better. And overall, I think this is a really good song. It'll stick with me for a little while. Um, I think I might have to. I don't know about best of the year. I think it might be a little bit of a stretch. It's the best AU5. It's my favorite AU5 song of the year by far. Um, but yeah, I'm not quite sure about best of 2019 material, but it's still a pretty damn good song, and I give it like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Is that high?
That's hot. Nah, that's hot.
All right, well, let's hear you.
Well, me, I'm an ordinary guy. I see A5, I walk. Uh, However, with this release, I will definitely say I love Kara's vocal. I love her as
Uh-oh.
a vocalist most time. Um, so I thought she did a very good job. Feels very A5. Um, very, very unique choice of chords. I'm not huge on the first drop though. I'm gonna be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought I was just bored by it. That's I don't know. That sounds a little weird to say, cause I'm all for melodic dubstep. I absolutely love it. It's actually my favorite sub genre of dubstep. But I don't. This just felt like really, really. It's just I can't really describe it, but it just didn't seem new, different. So I just wasn't
You
enticed
didn't
by
think it
it.
was unique enough?
Yeah, kind of. Well, to me, I
I
mean,
I I can see where you're coming from.
yeah, I don't know. I just coming from a guy like him, I was just kind of like, you know, I don't want to hear what I've already heard before. So I mean, yeah, for the first drop, that's what I thought. Second drop, by far, way better. Obviously you got that hard hitting dubstep.
Yeah, it reminded me of Xylem a little bit. The second drop.
Yes, I think that, yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, why do I love this drop so much? Oh, wait, because it sounds like Silent. But yeah, second drop is gold. Definitely. So that kind of definitely boosted my thoughts on the song a bit. As an artist, I do respect AU5. I really like his stuff. I definitely know he knows what he's doing because he has like biggest brain when it comes to electric production. He knows like almost everything. So, but I just kind of felt let down by like the first half of the song. The second half definitely saved it me. Very low score or rating. So for this one, I'm gonna have to give it probably a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Fair enough. Next song is Bad Computer with Sanctuary. Now, I'm going to start this, okay? I'm going to start this by saying that I enjoy most of Bad Computer stuff, especially in his 2018 year, like Disarray, Voyage, what's the other one? Silhouette. I enjoyed all those. But Sanctuary, I found ridiculously boring. It was so fucking boring. I God. I I wanted to just like lay down on my bed, put in my earbuds and listen to the song. And I did. You know, I tried to relax myself while listening to it and I couldn't get into it. I really couldn't. And it was such a disappointment too because again, I like Bad Computer. But this song really felt insanely tame. And the melody, especially that intro, it just didn't work for me. I it sounds so off. And I I don't know. It put me in a bad headspace. I didn't like it really at all. It just I'll give it points for like sound design because his sound design is always on point. It's just I don't know. I don't really know. It just really put me in a bad headspace. I don't even know why. It might just be the melody. I just don't like that melody. And I think the song's like 3 minutes long or 4 minutes long. Somewhere
4 minutes.
I don't know what that was. 4 minutes long. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It I don't know. I didn't really like it, but I can confidently say that he tried. It's definitely an experimental one. So overall, I give it like a 4. I think. I think I'm gonna leave it at a 4 out of 10 for me. All right, you go.
Well, this is actually my favorite of the whole entire.
That shit. All right, you go.
I say that because I felt got a lot of Dead Mouse vibe. Dead Mouse, one of my favorite artists of all time. He, this is, I mean, the drops, yes, are very electronic dance music, but the mid sections, very techno. Very techno. I kinda, first off, I love that he returned Monstercat. Definitely missed hearing him,
Hmm.
but, because it is so simple, but it works. It works for what it is. Um, I think it's well, to me, I think it's something we didn't ask for, but something we did, but we just didn't know it. To me, and I'm kind of glad that he gave us the song because kind of has made me see him in a new light. I can understand how some may think that this is kind of like a step back from him. Um, but I think he just this time he just didn't want to go for like his other stuff like Plex or anything. He just kind of wanted to make a quirky, fun, experimental track, and I think he did a good job at achieving that. Um, so I love it because of its just raw simplicity and the sound design is on point, and I just get a lot of Dead Mouse vibes from it.
Dead mouse
I love,
vibes.
yeah,
Wow, I didn't get that at all.
really.
Yeah, I don't know how. Anyway, what would you give it?
Um, I'm probably gonna give this one an 8.5 out of 10.
An 8.5.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I don't know. I really like it.
Hey,
This
that's
this is this is like you and me with No Taker's song.
exactly
I don't even remember what it's called because I hated
each
it so
other.
much.
Each other.
Oh my god.
That's why we
You love
need
you
each other.
Please don't sing. I'm gonna rate it less than 0 if you sing it. But it's kind of I guess it's kind of like that. Like I disliked it, but you liked it, and now this song you don't
Right.
like it too much, but I
It's like
like it a lot.
backwards.
It's like backwards, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, how the tides have turned. How the tables have turned. Anyway, so on to the last two songs of the entire compilation. The next one kind of caught me off guard a little bit when I read it. The title, Pegboard Nerds and Tokyo Machine, MOSHI, or MOSHI. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but I'm just gonna say MOSHI. I can't, between this and Way Down, I don't know which one is my favorite of the compilation. I really like this. And I think a good reason, I think a big reason of that is because I didn't really feel a lot of Tokyo Machine in here. I felt a lot more of Xylent in here than I did Tokyo Machine, which is weird. It's not that weird because they're the same person, but like, it's weird. I don't know. Just like the first drop, I immediately went, my mind immediately went to We Are Dust. Just like the sound design in that was very, very similar to the sound design in Moshi. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, um, like I just kind of, I don't know, I felt that. I felt Xylent. But the second drop was definitely more pegboard nerd oriented. That took me back to like Blackout song they had for the 5-year anniversary compilation. That's what the second drop reminded me of. Um, except this one was much better. Um, but I think the song was really fun overall. I think it was really cool to see Tokyo Machine actually collaborate with someone else, that's not under his Xylent, alias. I give it it's worth the novelty of just, knowing that it happened. But I don't know. I think I like Way Down better than this, just slightly. But I think for a pegboard nerd Tokyo Machine collab, this is probably the best that it probably could have been. The only complaint I have about it is that the synth, the melody during the mid sections, it felt a bit off. Like there was something about it that sounded a little off. But otherwise, pretty great song overall. Definitely a 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Well, I
Uh-oh.
I actually really like this song. Uh,
Yay.
definitely what I would expect Tokyo Machine, Pegboard Nerds collab. I feel like a lot of the hard hitting artists are gonna take a lot inspiration from Silence album,
Oh, I
just
hope so.
the success that it was. Um, so yeah, I definitely felt We Rise. Well, what was it?
You Rise.
Uh,
We Are Dust.
We Are Dust. Yes, that's the album, right?
Yes.
But and then I do agree that the second drop sounds like out. Um, which I like Blackout. I the song is great. It is kind of everything you would expect, a tad bit more. That I do agree that the melody in the mid sections are a little off, but I think that's just kind of Tokyo Machine-ish.
I
He's always
guess.
kind of weird. He's always kind of funky with his melodies.
Eh,
So I kind of, that was really the only part that I saw that kind of stood out. Like I could tell other contributions he made, but that was like that stood out to me.
mhm.
Like majority of it was kind of pegboard nerds. Um, but otherwise, decent song. I will give it a 7 out of 10. I really liked it.
Nice. All right, awesome. So that leaves us to the final track of this compilation. Uh, what's it called again? I forget. uh,
Feel alright.
Feel Alright. by Justin O and Rogue. Another weird, unexpected collab.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I don't think anyone expected
I
this.
yeah, I saw the teaser on Justin O's Instagram. Like it was like a computer screen, and then it said you would need a friend to go on this journey, and then it slowly loaded in the Rogue logo, and immediately I was like, oh no. Like that was my first response. Oh no, because I just don't see it. I don't see their styles working together that well. I really don't. And this song, "Feel Alright," is what I guess that's what it sounds like when Justino and Rogue come together. And I
Yeah.
gotta say, it's either this or Sanctuary as my least favorite of the compilation. I don't know. I didn't feel it. I definitely felt the Rogue, aspects because, of the vocals. And he does a fine job with them, even though I think they're my least favorite that I've heard from him so far this year. Which I didn't think they would get much more tamer than Let's Talk, but that's a discussion for another day. Um, Feel Alright. I didn't really feel much Just to Know actually throughout the whole thing. I felt um there was the drops. I definitely recognized the sort of like bit the drops really reminded me of She's a Killer back last year. And that was about it. That was about as much Just to Know as I could muster from all of it. And the rest sounded like Rogue, which was fairly disappointing because I had been expecting something, I don't know, more unique and different. Um, but it just kind of seemed like, I don't know. I just wasn't impressed by this at all. Nothing really screamed uniqueness to me. Not even the Rogue vocals seemed really, outstanding or memorable. But overall, I just didn't really feel it with this one. Again, it's either this or Sanctuary is my least favorite. But at least Sanctuary had like some creative, you know, parts of it. And this was just sort of bland. So I think this might be my least favorite of the whole compilation. And I would probably give this like a 4, maybe a 3.5, but I'm leaving it at a 4 for now. That's just how I feel. Just burp.
Great. Oh, no. Why would I do that?
You tell
I'm a,
me.
mat- I'm a mature person.
Sure
Why
you
would I
are.
do
Anyway.
that on a... Okay. I don't know where you're getting that from. Guys, comment down below if you think I burped or not.
There's playback features on YouTube.
Oh no. And I oop. Anyways,
Anyways.
nah. Justin O. Great artist. Rogue. Great artist. Seeing them together, I thought, uh-oh, how's that gonna work? But it actually blended very well. I do agree that they did kind of play it safe in a sense. However, I think for what it was, um, they did an okay job. The drop was all right. It would have made me happy if first drop was kind of a Rogue style drop, and then the second drop was kind of just an O.
Yeah, that would have been way better.
Yeah. Um, because you always kind of go with that very calm, popish, and then you want to hit hard at the very end.
Right.
I kind of feel like that's how a good song should be with our two artists like those. I do agree. Well, I think that out of the whole song, my favorite part would have to be the last drop, actually. Um, I really, really liked the art in it. I thought it was really, really pretty with those keys, the key that it was. I thought it was really pretty compared to the other two drops. That to me kind of stood out. But again, the same drops. I mean, it's the same sensor, whatever, and pretty basic. So I'm probably gonna 5.5 out of 10.
Okay, that seems fair. So yeah, that is the compilations,
Yeah.
or just the compilation itself. How about a? I'm gonna have my. I'll have my ranking out by the time this is up. So
The beginning of the podcast, you kind of the idea. Both of us mentioned how we got into Monstercat.
right, okay, yeah, we could do that. So here's the origin story of me. This is how I was birthed out of Monstercat's vagina. So.
Oh,
uh,
thanks for painting that, Rice. I'm gonna be scarred for life now.
You're welcome.
I'll never be able to look at the Monstercat the same.
Oh my god. Uh, oh, I just ruined everyone's vision of Monstercat.
Yeah, well, at least that's kind of better than because I had a Monstercat shirt, right? I got it when I was in 6th grade. I wore it
Okay.
to school, and everyone asked me, "Why does that cat have this long penis?" And I'm like, "It's not. It's a tail. It's a tail." And that scarred me, but now you just scarred me even more. I'm just like,
Oh
oh
my
my
god, it
gosh.
does look a long dick. I have a flag. Like, I see it from my room right now. I can totally see it now.
I apologize to everyone who views this and has to listen to this. It'll never be the same.
Oh my god. Oh my lord. Okay. So anyway.
So anyway,
Anyway. Alright. So this is how it started off. Alright. This is how I got into it. So, way back when, late October, um, yeah, about late October 2014, I had a gum infection inside my mouth. It was like the gum would like overlap my teeth, so I couldn't close my teeth all the way, and it would, hurt when I tried to eat something. I went to the nearest sort of hospital, and we got signed up to antibiotics for my gum infection. And well, on the way there, I was scrolling through YouTube, old-fashioned 2014 YouTube. Um, those were the days. And I looked through, and I found a song called Emergency by Pegboard Nerds. I had no idea what this was, so I played the video, and I was immediately blown away. And I was like, oh my god, this song is fucking awesome. And then that was the day I sort of got into it. Like, I had barely any experience of the label back then. Um, so, I was still trying to build my way up to sort of listening to all the stuff that they had come out with. Um, but yeah, that day, whatever day, I think it was the same day that Emergency came out. It might have been. Whenever that was. Ever since I recovered from the gum infection, I began listening to the all the Monstercat stuff. That's sort of how it. I I I wouldn't say it got me through the gum infection, but it I guess it was just something to do while I had it. Um, and yeah, it was. That's really how I found out about Monstercat. And this was like October 2014, so this was around the time that 019 was you know still being built by all the songs, and this was way after 018 was released, um, Frontier. And I it's a good reason. It's a good reason why albums like 019, 020, 021 are like sort of special, hold a special place in my heart. Um, and of course, all the albums through 2015. I uh, I just really liked that song, and it got me to listen to a lot more of Monstercat. And then I started learning about the artist. I made shitty I made a few shitty slideshow presentations that I was only going to show myself. I made one for Pegboard Nerds. I made one for Tristram. I made one for Nitro Fun, and that was about it. And I made one about the label itself. So yeah, I come from a really bad history. I would also, at times, sort of make like on my Google drawings, you know, like I'd go into Google Drawings sometimes and I would recreate the visualizers for some of the songs, but like as a picture. It's a little hard to explain, but yeah, it I come from a weird history of liking Monstercat. It's weird. Anyway, yeah, Emergency was my first song, and then from there I listened to, all the songs that came before it. Uh, Also, World's Triumph came out around that time, and I really liked that. Now I just think it's decent. But anyway, that's really all I have to say. That's sort of my origin of how I became into Monstercat, and then everything
Interesting.
else is, unrelated to that event, sort
Yeah.
of. But yeah, that's all I've got. What about you, Blind? How did you seep your way into the Monstercat community?
Well, before I mention that, we have to go back. We have to go back to circa 2012, colorized,
Oh
and
shit,
we
that's way
uh,
back.
it's way back. And I had a friend who's oddly his name was also David. We grew up on the same street for 5 years. Actually, we're
Fun.
about to be friends for almost 10 years because I met him in 2000. Um, and he has influenced my life in such a huge way. He was the one who got me into electronic music, and then in 2014 moved. He had to come to San Diego, uh, to visit his mom's boyfriend, but also because he was the dad of his half sister. So, he had to go over there, but he decided while he was there, he would come visit me. So he did that, and wow. So I started watching anime. I made and they're like so. I had another friend in San Diego. His name was Brand, and Brandon noticed that I was kind of depressed because I missed my friends in when I used to live in Washington State, and I was just kind of feeling sad all the time, and I was thinking about them. Um, so he introduced me to this game, Japanese game. It's called Os, and it's like a clicker game to like you can download music. They have like certain uh games in it.
Cool.
So I played that, and then he suggested I download a track for it, and this was in October of 2015.
Fun.
So I played it, and I also listened to the song, and I was like, "What the heck? Why is this song so holy? Why is it so good?" So I'm like, I must do my research. So I searched it up on YouTube, found it, clicked on a channel, which was Monstercat, and I browsed through all their stuff and I fell in love with it. And I have, so that was like a little bit after 024. That was Vanguard? No, I
Oh,
don't
24
remember
was
what it was.
Vanguard.
Vanguard, yeah. And so during the time they were releasing tracks for Threshold. So Yeah, it really helped get me through depression, moving, and it encouraged me to start making music.
Settle.
Yes, that's all.
Okay.
No, just inserts another subplot into that story.
Subplot: my girlfriend left me.
So I turned to Monstercat music to help me cope. So I couldn't feel lonely anymore. The music
I
talked.
listened to No Regrets by Open Water and Matt Vice. That's a thing. That's a thing that
Oh,
pisses me off every single fucking time I come across that song. I always think it's Matt Van
mm.
in that song. I always think it's Open Water and Matt Van, but it's Open Water and Matt Vice. And it pisses me off every time I get it wrong.
The
I always
kid
think it's
Matt
a Matt Van
Vice.
song. Yeah. I always think
Matt
it's a Matt Van.
Vice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's one of my favorite things.
It's weird because for a while, Monstercat was my favorite label, but it was the only label that I listened to. So
It's not anymore.
it's it well, yeah, it's not my favorite anymore. Bitbird is my favorite.
Bitbird.
Yeah,
Ah.
Monstercat is like second. I mean, because I go back to it and always listen to the releases. But I kind of noticed that Monstercat is kind of over the years has kind of fallen in quality since since I found it. It's kind of picking itself back now, picking
Yeah.
itself back up.
Yeah.
But it had definitely had a couple of years where it was kind of it was kind of eh. So I was
Yeah.
like, let me branch off. And
That's exactly how I felt.
when I was looking through Monster Cat's old stuff, that's how I found San Holo's releases on there. And
Mm.
it was weird because I disliked him so much when I first heard him. I hated his music. What the heck is this crap? I I absolutely hated it. So it was weird because it was different. I didn't know at the time to appreciate different. But now that everything was kind of sounding the same, I was like, I want to hear something new. So I went back to it and I actually learned to really appreciate his music. And then think I think Light came out in 2017 and I was like, wow, this is really good. So then I went to Bitbird. I checked out their stuff and it was absolutely amazing. But I didn't really think about it too much until um when San Holo released album 1. I was like, what the heck? How can a human create something so beautiful? Because I was like, this isn't music, this is art. And I literally messaged him that, and he was like, that means so much to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he responded. And I fangirled so much. And it was just like, and I listened to the rest of their stuff, and it was so weird because all the artists on there are absolutely amazing. And they put so much emotion into their music, and it's just like, this is my type of stuff. Even though I still like Monster Cat stuff, um,
You like Bitbird more now?
I like Bitbird more. So, yeah.
So that's two origin stories in one.
Yeah. I like Bitbird. What can I say?
Bitbird. I can't say I have too much of a history with Bitbird. I first saw the symbol. I think it was in the Victory EP or
Yeah.
somewhere like one of the teasers or whatever. And then I heard like the Bitbird chirp, and then I saw the
Sweet.
Bitbird symbol, and I was like, "What the fuck is this 8-bit parrot doing on my screen?"
Yeah.
And I didn't look into it until like 3 years later to realize it was a fucking label, and I was like, oh, all the Bitbird artists came from them. They joined the label. Drew Lou, Tasca
Yeah,
Black, all of
yeah.
them.
But now they're gone. If we had Bitbird artists on Monstercat, now how amazing would that be?
That would be pretty
Let's,
nice.
let's just like, you know what Monster needs to do? They need to have a mega collab. Like, Break the Silence is crap. I'm sorry.
Make Break
It's
the
just,
Silence look amateur in comparison.
yes. If they
Get
had
like 20
something like,
artists in a room.
if they had something like Bitbird's mega collab, if only, which is one of my favorite songs, because
And
it
how
is
many artists was
absolutely,
that again? Wasn't that like
that's
eight or
like
nine?
eight, eight artists.
Eight
But
artists?
it is so amazing because I can literally hear everyone's contribution to that song. And I'm just like, if Monstercat does something like that, that would be amazing. That will be the day that maybe potentially Monstercat takes back the top spot for me.
Hmm.
But Bitbird is the king to me.
I don't know if you saw this, but the label, the Monstercat, posted a picture a few days ago, and it had like, studio session with like, it was like a picture of like 5 different artists. They were sitting down at a computer, and then they tagged in Pixel Terror, Riot, Habstract, No
Oh yes, I
Taker,
did.
and
Yeah, I did see that.
Kill the Noise. Yeah,
Maybe that should be interesting.
that could be interesting. I don't think it's gonna
That could
happen,
be
but that could be interesting.
if they execute it correct. If it's crap, then I'm gonna be really disappointed.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell when you have what 8 people in the room
I mean, they
because
have
there's
Riot
two
in
Riot.
there.
Yeah,
They
Riot's
have Riot
two.
in there. How can they mess this up? They have Riot.
They have
Come on.
Riot. Riot's their
They
secret
have
weapon.
Riot. Please save the song, Riot.
Right. But at the same time, they also have No Taker in there, and they also have Habstract in there.
Ew. I'm sorry. I can't trust No Taker. Not after each other.
Each other.
Maybe if
Each
No
other.
Taker goes back to his old days, when he released good stuff like Infinite,
Oh my god, yes.
if he made something like that again, I'm gonna cry.
Yes. So would I. I still think that's his best thing he's ever made. Like, period.
That's easily his best song. Still,
What would be. Here's an interesting question that we can sort of muster upon. What would be your favorite, like, Monstercat song ever? Like, throughout all the years, all the albums, literally anything.
this
Your favorite singular song.
that is so hard
Yeah.
because I actually really like San Holo stuff, but I love all of Tristram's stuff after he quit dubstep.
Right.
Um, also there's um, I don't I don't know if I can pick one. That's so crazy to think about. Can I just have a three-way tie?
uh, fine.
Okay. All right. Probably San Holo's Hold Fast, and then the two other ones are Tristram tracks. Tristram, My Friend, and Tristram Devotion.
I'll return the question back at me. Um,
Yes, now what's your favorite singular monster track? I said
Monster
monster
Track.
track.
Monster
Monster
Track?
track. Hashtag monster track, guys. Guys, comment down below. What's your favorite monster track?
Your voice is murdering you from the inside. Um, um, my favorite monster track.
See, now you're
It
saying
would,
it.
yeah. Um, God, it's. I always default to saying "The Divide" by 7 Minutes Dead because that how holds so many like memories of junior high and my junior high 8th grade year mixed with the music that was released all throughout 2015. That is just it was magical. It was a magical time, um, especially early 2015. That's when the song came out. It was just like that song. Every time I play it, I just I immediately go back to 2015 and the junior high days where I built race cars in wood shop and I made like Rube Goldberg machines that stretched throughout like 3 different classrooms. Um, and I did like digital photography, and I did like a ton of Photoshop stuff. It was an absolutely grand year, my favorite school year I've ever taken. Um, and that music definitely improved the experience, and that song in particular was the one I played the most throughout the years. There's just something about it that I loved, and it really connected and it spoke to me. Um, and that's really why I default to saying The Divide. It's more of a memory bank, if anything. And the song itself, I can't really say it's the best. What I think is the best. It's just my personal favorite. Um, and yeah, it's just I don't know. It 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 just really holds a special place in my heart, and that's really why I default to saying The Divide. If I were talking about the best song, what I think the best song would be, not like my personal favorite, I think the best song on the label would be like God, like probably Once Again by Tristam. I I I don't know. I feel like that song is so creative and it's so epic. There's a lot of like especially the opening with the piano. It really gives off that sense of epicness and it just kind of goes up from there. The build, the lyrics, the vocals, the drops, the sound design, everything about it is just spectacular. Even to this day, it has not aged a bit. It is still, what I think is the best Monstercat track. It's between that or probably Peacock by 7 Minutes Dead. Well, I think both songs are incredibly unique and they both have great sound design. They both have a great feel to them, despite how different the feels are. Peacock is a little more like a fun, sort of quirky song. Um, and, it's one that I love just going back to and deciphering every single sound and just trying to figure out why and how, how he was able to do this in such a, satisfying way. And it's both songs are really fun. And, well, one of them is like fun in tone, the other one's very, serious and epic. But both of them are absolutely beautiful. They're great. Um, they're my favorite. They're what I consider the best songs on the label. Um, the only reason I don't think The Divide is one of the best songs, is because the sound design hasn't really aged well. Um, but with the other two, it definitely has. So yeah, that's really my answer to that question.
Cool. It was a pleasure talking to you, Bryce, about it, to hear your very opinion. Yeah. So, yes, I take departure. I apologize to everyone on behalf of myself for getting a horrid image of the cat.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm apologizing for you.
I know you're fine.
Okay. Anyway, This is my goodbye. Goodbye. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me. It was
Yeah.
really fun talking to you again after like 3 months.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great. I also apologize to, the fan base out there, the community. I feel like such an asshole for saying that for some reason. My fan base,
No,
I'm gonna say, that haven't been doing a lot of these in recent memory. That's mainly because I'm really bad with scheduling things. And another big part of that is that Adam doesn't show the fuck up. And so it just like now. So sometimes it's a pain in the ass. But the biggest problem is that my computer sucks horsecock and it doesn't want to set up correctly like it should.
oh,
And it messes up every single time. And I barely know how to fix it every single time. And it's always right when we're about to start. So it makes things even more annoying. But yeah, that's why I haven't been doing a lot of these. But since it was Monstercat's 8-year anniversary, we might as well do one. Kind of give a happy birthday to Monstercat.
we
Thanks
have
for
to.
changing our lives.
This was fun. To
Yeah,
start
this was fun. Happy birthday, Monstercat. We love you
birthday,
3000.
Monster. I love you. I love Bitbird. 10. I'm sorry.
If I were smart, I would have baked a cake in advance and just ship it to Vancouver for
Just
them
ship
to
it to.
eat. But I feel like it would have been like really bad by then, since I'm at the bottom of the U.S. and then they're at like the bottom of Canada. So I mean, I don't know. I took the safe route and didn't bake a cake. But in my mind, I bake a cake for you, Monstercat. Mike Darlington.
Yes, I will bake a cake and I'll. Okay, I have to really go now. So
Okay, bye. Alright, well, he really had to go. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for, happy birthday, Monstercat. Hope the future goes well for you. Thanks for being a big part of my life and a lot of other people's lives. The, what is it, 7 million subscribers that they have now? Or 8 million? I think it's more than that. And I'm not even combining the Instinct subscriber count. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and see you another time.